Okay, wow, get this. What if we could rewire hope? Rewire hope. You heard that right. We're diving deep today into this article from WashU Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Rewiring Hope, How Nerve Stimulation Transforms Severe Depression.
Right?
And let me tell you, it is a fascinating look at a potential breakthrough in treating, severe depression.
Yeah.
We're talking nerve stimulation therapy and the possibility that it could actually help people who haven't found relief from any other treatments.
It is really remarkable. This article highlights the results of a large clinical trial.
Okay.
Almost 500 people.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's specifically focused on those who have really struggled to find relief.
Okay.
These are individuals who have tried, get this, an average of 13 other treatments with no success. Think about that for a second. 13 different attempts to feel better. The study was published in Brain Stimulation. That's a leading journal in the field, which just goes to show you how seriously the scientific community is taking these findings.
Wow, 13 other treatments. That's a lot to go through.
Yeah.
So this is really targeted at people with severe treatment-resistant depression.
Yeah. That's the focus.
Okay, so what did they find? Did stimulating a nerve actually help?
Well, the results were incredibly encouraging.
Okay, that's good. That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, participants with activated devices reported significant improvements in their symptoms. We're not just talking about feeling a little bit better.
Okay, so these are
these are meaningful changes in their ability to function day to day and engage with life again.
I'm seeing the phrase activated devices a lot here.
Yeah.
What exactly are we talking about?
Right, good point. Yeah. We're talking about vagus nerve stimulation. Okay.
This involves a small pacemaker-like device.
Okay.
That is implanted under the skin in the chest. And it sends electrical pulses to the vagus nerve, which plays a vital role in mood regulation.
Hold on. Back up for a sec.
Yeah.
The vagus nerve, remind me what that is again?
Absolutely. It's a major nerve.
Okay.
That runs from your brain all the way down to your abdomen.
Whoa, okay.
It connects your brain to all sorts of organs.
Really?
And it's actually a two-way street. It carries signals from the body to the brain.
Okay.
And from the brain back down to the body.
So it's like a communication highway between the brain and the body.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
And this therapy is essentially sending signals along that highway.
Exactly.
Okay.
What's fascinating is that by stimulating the vagus nerve, you can actually influence specific brain regions that are involved in mood regulation.
Oh, okay.
Think of those regions as being a little, out of whack.
Yeah, out of balance. Yeah, in people with severe depression. And this therapy helps to gently, nudge them back into balance.
So how does this nudging, how does this translate into actual, improvements for people? Can you give me some real world examples?
Of course, yeah. The study found that participants with activated devices experienced improvements, not just in their symptoms, but also in their quality of life and their ability to handle daily tasks.
Right, the whole picture.
Yeah, for someone struggling with severe depression, these changes can be life-altering.
Yeah.
Dr. Charles Conway, who led the research,
yeah,
said some patients are seeing improvements that could be the difference between being unable to get out of bed,
wow,
and being productive and effectively interacting with loved ones again.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is.
Going from being completely debilitated to being able to function.
Yeah.
And connect with people again. This is starting to sound like a real game changer.
It really does have that potential.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that these participants had tried so many other options without finding relief.
Right, yeah.
This offers hope where traditional treatments have failed.
That's huge.
Yeah, it is. It is. But like with any new treatment,
right.
there's still some things we need to figure out.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, it's not a quick fix.
Okay.
Most of the improvements in the study actually didn't show up until the last 3 months of the trial.
So it takes time to for the brain to respond to the stimulation and for those changes to really take hold.
Exactly. Think about we're talking about rewiring neural pathways here.
Yeah.
That kind of change doesn't happen overnight. But the exciting thing is that based on what we've seen in other studies, once a patient does respond to vagus nerve stimulation,
Yeah.
those effects tend to like stick around. It's not like you stop the treatment and everything goes back to the way it was before.
Okay, that makes sense. It's not a Band-Aid solution. It's more like a long-term approach to reshaping like how the brain functions.
Right.
Yeah.
And to really understand the long-term effects, researchers are going to follow these participants for another 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
That's a pretty significant commitment to research. What are they going to be looking at specifically?
They'll be tracking how long the benefits last. Do they continue?
Yeah.
And also trying to identify any factors that might predict who is most likely to respond well to the treatment.
So the more we learn, the better we'll be able to like determine who could benefit from this therapy.
Precisely. But here's the catch, and this is a big one. Even though vagus nerve stimulation has been FDA approved for almost 20 years, it's still not widely available.
Why is that? If it's so promising, like, shouldn't it be accessible to everyone who needs it?
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that the device itself and the surgery to implant it can be quite expensive.
Oh, okay.
And unfortunately, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, also known as CMS,
EMS,
and many insurance companies don't currently cover it.
So cost is a major barrier for a lot of people who might otherwise benefit from this treatment.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's something researchers are actively trying to address.
Okay.
This Recover study we've been talking about is actually designed to gather the data needed to convince CMS to cover vagus nerve stimulation.
Okay.
If CMS decides to cover it, that could pave the way for more widespread coverage from private insurance companies.
That would be huge. It could potentially make this therapy accessible to so many people who are currently struggling.
Yeah. Imagine the impact. It could literally change the lives of countless individuals and their families.
It's pretty inspiring to think about, but I have to admit, like, the idea of implanting a device in someone's body, to treat depression, it does make me think about the bigger picture. It feels like we're entering this new era where technology is playing a bigger and bigger role in mental health.
You're absolutely right, and it raises some really, really important questions about about the future of mental health treatment.
Yeah.
We're already seeing the emergence of brain-computer interfaces and other cutting edge technologies that have the potential to revolutionize how we approach mental health conditions.
It's exciting, but it's also a little like unnerving, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, like, where do we draw the line?
Right.
What are the ethical implications of using technology to modify brain activity?
Mm-hmm. That's a conversation we absolutely need to be having as a society,
Yeah.
As we develop these powerful new tools.
Right.
We need to be mindful of both their potential benefits and the potential risks.
It sounds like there are a lot of unknowns, and it'll take some serious thought to like figure out how to navigate this new landscape responsibly.
Without a doubt. But the possibilities are incredible.
I'm definitely curious to see where all of this leads. But but for now, let's zoom back in on what we've learned about vagus nerve stimulation. So for someone listening who's maybe just tuning into this deep dive now,
right?
What are the biggest takeaways about this vagus nerve stimulation therapy for severe depression?
Well, I think the biggest thing is hope.
Yeah.
The clinical trial we've been discussing showed, some pretty remarkable improvements in people who've struggled for years, sometimes even decades.
Right.
To find relief from their depression.
Yeah.
These are individuals who haven't responded to traditional treatments.
Right.
So to see them experience significant improvements in their symptoms, their quality of life and their ability to function is truly groundbreaking.
You're right. The fact that it works for people who haven't had success with anything else is huge.
Yeah.
But as we've discussed, there are still some challenges when it comes to to access.
Yes, the cost of the device and the surgery is a major barrier.
Right.
Currently, it's not covered by CMS or most insurance companies,
Yeah.
which means it's out of reach for a lot of people who could potentially benefit.
It's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
To know there's this potentially life-changing therapy out there, but it's not accessible to everyone who needs it.
It is. But there's some good news on that front.
Oh, okay, good.
The Recover study is specifically designed to gather the data that CMS needs to see in order to consider covering vagus nerve stimulation.
Okay.
If CMS comes on board, it could have a domino effect, leading to more widespread coverage from private insurance companies as well.
So there's hope that in the future, more people will be able to access this treatment.
Absolutely, and as research continues, we'll learn more about the long-term effects of vagus nerve stimulation and who is most likely to respond well to it.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
it feels like we're just scratching the surface of what this therapy could do.
It really is.
It's amazing to think about how technology is evolving.
Yeah.
To address mental health in new and innovative ways.
It really is. It really is a fascinating time to be exploring these advancements.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this deep dive, here's something for you to think about. And we've talked a lot about the science and the research.
Yeah.
But what about the human element?
Okay.
How do you feel about the idea of using technology to treat mental health conditions? What are your hopes and concerns?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's one that we all need to be considering as these technologies become more sophisticated and more prevalent. It's been an incredibly insightful deep dive, and I for one am going to keep learning more.
Yeah.
About the future of mental health and the role technology might play in it.
That's what it's all about. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep an open mind.
Yeah.
As we venture into this uncharted territory.
Couldn't have said it better myself. To all our listeners, thank you for joining us for this deep dive, and we'll see you next time.